Live. Cool. Desiree's gonna join. We'll click and we're rolling right into the episode. Let's say join us next week. Okay. This last. There it was. Oh well, I can talk about what I was. I mean, you can eat while we're on camera and everything like comes on. No problem at all. Certainly not for me. I'm cool with it.
No, it's good. I'd be smacking my lips the whole time.
Great. Hey everyone, welcome to Coffee with ThreeCo. That's what this is. We're gonna have an amazing guest, Desiree Gonzales, and Desiree requested. Yes, let's view that request and let's accept. Okay. Do you know people who?
I do. I don't. I like hot coffee, but I have to let it cool.
Hi.
Hello.
Yay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It feels. The vibes are great. Alright, cool. Alright, so happy to see you. Where are you, by the way?
I'm in Jamaica. I'm on my balcony overlooking the ocean on the west end of Jamaica in Negril. And it's a beautiful day and I'm feeling calm and just happy to be here. How are you?
I am amazing. Also happy to be here. Happy to be hanging out. Happy to be on the podcast. Happy to be having another amazing conversation because what I truly love about life, I like many things about life. The main thing I love about life, or one of the main things I love, is learning about other people. I love connecting with other people, understanding other people, seeing their perspectives. Makes me a better person. So we have the podcast. And it's why you're here. You're one amazing person. Not only I want to know more about, but I think the whole world should know more about you, your thoughts, and your future. And we are going to be talking about how I think, I mean, we can talk about a lot of things, but one thing I want to pull from this conversation is how you monetize the thing that you love to do, which is yoga, spirituality, the metaphysical aspect of life and reality, those things, what terms you use, how you go out in the world, how people with the same mindset. We live in in general, the culture is very conservative. So how does one, go out into a world that's really different and not really accepting still of that way of thinking and being? How do you make money and how do you thrive and how do you keep yourself smiling and happy, looking great and hydrated?
Yes, hydration is key. You will always catch me with my water, especially on these lives because I talk so much. I'm like, I need some water. So I hope y'all are staying hydrated, everyone watching and y'all on this podcast. So Jermaine, I know you. I do not know you.
Hi.
Kelsey. Nice to meet you, Kelsey.
You as well. I'll give you a little bit about who I am. I am a local Tucson blogger. So I blog about places in town to take your family, especially because I am a mom to two elementary age kids. And so we're always looking for new places to go. We relocated here from Reno, Nevada about 2.5 years ago. And so we got to the point where we were just visiting the same places. We were never really trying anything new. And Tucson is full of things to do. So now that it's warming up again, it's fun to get out and find new places. So I love to work with businesses, get their names out and more visibility online on social media. And it's a lot of fun. So that is me. That is who I am.
Nice to meet you.
All right, so let's dive into the way the intro is supposed to happen. Hello, everyone. Southern Arizona. Welcome to Coffee with ThreeCo, a podcast focused on sharing the stories of Southern Arizona's most interesting people and their local businesses. I am one of your co-hosts, Jermaine. I'm the founder of Imperial Partners, a small business support organization that believes anyone can monetize their passion. And vital to business success is networking with business experts. But networking is often inconsistent and time consuming. If small business owners had a service that introduced them to personalized business connections based on their business needs and their preferred days, times, and locations to meet, the networking would be effortless. So, Imperial Partners provides that service. It's called Introduction Networking, where the business community comes to you if you're interested. If you're on Anchor, send us a message. If you see this on Facebook, send us a message. Send me an email, miller.jermaine. If you're on our email newsletter, you can just, reply to that. You can hit us up on Instagram, LinkedIn as well. TikTok, I have an account. Same thing. Hit me up there. You can come. I should start dancing.
You should. I think you should.
Maybe we gotta start dancing to promote this show.
There we go.
Yeah. You know what? We're gonna do a dance video after
we
this.
are.
We. Yeah.
I want in on this. I want in.
All right, great. We gotta pick something. All right, we gotta pick something. I'm excited for that. Okay, so yes, hit me up. You can hit me up anywhere. I'm very easy to find.
And I pretty much gave my intro, but I'll do it again. I am Kelsey from kelseyfarley.com. And if you're a business in the Tucson area looking for more visibility on social media, I would love to work with you. Like I said, I'm a mom of 2 elementary age kiddos. And so we love finding new places around the Tucson area to take our family. But I would really love to help you reach more customers and increase your presence online. I'm also available for free 30-minute consultations. So if you are interested in that, just visit kelseyfarley.com to learn more.
Great. All right. And so that you know, we are recording out of Big Heart Coffee, 4802 East 22nd Street. Come out for coffee. I had a dirty hot chocolate, delicious with oat milk.
And I had a lavender oat milk latte. Yeah, I get it every time. And Desiree is drinking water. So.
I'm drinking water too.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I had my
past, actually some.
Go ahead.
All right, green tea. We heard it. We heard that. I think that's what we need to hear, right?
Yeah, green tea. Good.
That's awesome. All right, what's next on the agenda? Because we have one.
So we do. So we are joined by Miss Desiree, and give us a little intro into what you do.
Yes, so I'm Desiree Gonzales, and I'm a yoga instructor, a doula, an intuitive healer, and just a world traveler, a dreamer. That's me.
Right on. What do you want to be?
When you grow up, what do you want to be?
In advance for Yes, I apologize in advance for any lags or talking over. There might be some delays because I'm working with the Wi-Fi that is here, which is not super strong. But what do I want to be? So I'm always confused by what do I do? I'm really trying to move away from defining myself by what I do or the things that I provide and working more on being this human being rather this human doing. But every day I wake up striving to be the best version of myself. And for me, that just have I been gentle with myself? Have I given myself grace? Have I allowed myself to begin again? Then great. Here's a new day. What can I do? So always trying to be of service, and always trying to put my skills to good use in the world. And one of my big skills is holding space. And so there's many ways to hold space and to support people through life transitions. And that's really what I do. I'm also a minister, so I'm ordained. I can hold space for things such as marriage, and then doula, that's for birth or the entire spectrum of the birth process. Being an intuitive, holding space for, transitions in people's lives, different things that they're learning and growing through. So that's really, in essence, what I do. And every day I try to be better at that.
That is awesome. All right. So what oh wait,
No,
actually, I have a question. What is your morning routine?
Ooh, I love to talk about my morning routine because I'm very passionate about my morning routine. Okay, so I try to stay as close to it as possible when I'm traveling, and I travel a lot. But when I'm at home, the first thing I do when I wake up is I read. I'm actually leading two book clubs. So I'm reading two books at the same time. One of them is My Grandmother's Hands, the other one is Pleasure Activism. Really great books. I highly encourage reading them. But yeah, I start off with reading because I'm not a morning person and I always want to get my morning workout first thing in the morning. And I'm just too grumpy right when I wake up. So I just need some time to like acclimate, moving out of dream state into real world. And so I'll read a little bit for a few minutes. And then I jump right into my morning workout routine. And so I love many things, from like yoga to running to Tabata. Love to like get my heart pumping and get a good sweat in the morning. And then I start my day off with three magical drinks. The first one is a full glass of water. The second is a glass or a cup of green tea. And then I drink 32 ounces of green juice, which is really like meditative for me to like make my green juice in the morning. For those that follow me, they know I'm always sharing what juice I'm making. And then I meditate for an hour. So yeah, movement, meditation, and hydration are like the three top things to start my day off right. I highly recommend it.
All right, say that again. The top three things to start your day off.
Yeah, movement, meditation, and hydration.
Awesome. All right, love it. All right, so you've done your morning routine and you're ready today for the day. You went through your day. Now it's the end of the day. Do you have an evening routine as well?
An evening routine. Oh man, not super huge on the evening routine. I like to, well, I usually wind my days down by talking to my boo. I'm in a long distance relationship, so us having that time to connect at the end of the day is really important to me. Always down for a nice bath. I love salt baths. My favorite bath combination is Epsom salt, baking soda, and apple cider vinegar. It's a really great detox bath. I highly recommend that too. So a good bath. But I think, yeah, I try to get to bed at a reasonable hour. I try not to watch like TV right before I go to bed. Sometimes I like a cup of bedtime tea, but not, it's mostly like the mornings that I'm really strict with my morning routine. But the evenings, just something to wind myself down. So yeah.
Got it. Got it. You have a morning routine?
Morning routine is I'm a mom, so it's usually getting my daughter ready for school. I try to get up earlier than she wakes up, but that usually I'm not. Um, but usually when I get home from dropping her off, that's when I'll have like my water and my coffee, and then I'll start doing mom stuff like laundry and all the things, and I try to block off certain days to get work done, but I it's very inconsistent. So I always say I kept the tiny people alive, so I think that's good. I'm good to go. What about you?
I commend
So
you.
my first thing is so I think that our physical bodies what we use to walk around in the world in, and a lot of times there are physical movements we just don't do. I think people for months, maybe even years, don't do certain movements. So the first thing I do is move my body. So, but specifically, moving all of my joints to connect my physical brain and send a signal from my toes throughout my whole body by moving it. So that the first thing that happens is my brain connects to my whole body. So now that neural pathway has been like tested for the day. So we're good. We can do everything else now. That's the first thing I do. Then it's water. That's the goal. And make the bed. Make sure the bed is made, and I focus on doing that as the thing to accomplish. And by this time, I've accomplished three things in some order. They're usually in that order. The first three things. I accomplished that. And then I have 8 steps to success is what I called it. It's called something now, but I wrote a book on my 8 things that I think if you did at the beginning of every day, it would ensure that you had a successful day in multiple aspects of your life. So the 8 things are first thing is cardio, then strength training, then stretching, then meditation, then do something with your non-dominant hand, and then recite a mantra, and then um, read the dictionary. I believe is what I put in the book, but you can read anything. Read the dictionary, and then last is look at your finances. So sort of look at your finances and say, well, this is what's here. What do I want to see when I vote here? And you can sit there and go, oh, yeah, I want to see that. That would be nice to see. So those, and do it for 60 seconds at a time. So each of those 60 seconds at a time, 8 minutes. That's my morning routine. That takes me 15 minutes. And that's the get done every day morning routine. And then I have a much longer one that includes like running, working out, and yoga, tai chi, punches and kicks and things like that. I'm also a mixed martial artist. I don't like to say that because it sounds weird. Uh, but yeah, I train. I love training as a part of my daily routine as well.
So
Yeah.
don't break into your home, especially in the morning.
Especially in the morning. I'm prepared.
You will
My
kick
brain
some
is
butt.
connected.
Good to know. Okay.
I'm sharp.
I
But yeah,
love that list.
awesome. I'll send you a link to it. It's a super short book too. It talks about how I believe like there are like humans are multiple things, and each of those things affects the other like more directly than I think we talk about. So every time I do a push up, I'm helping myself emotionally, helping myself mentally, helping myself socially, helping myself financially, and all these different aspects in life because of different things that happen to you because you focus on push-ups while somebody who's focused on squats or someone who focuses on I don't know shoulder shrugs. You're gonna look like this. The world's gonna treat you based on what your physical body looks like in general, right? And in various different ways. And there are some things you can control that actually affect the reality and how people affect it. So, from my perspective, it's well, I think in general for everything, whether it's business, whether it's life, where do I want to go and how do I get myself there? And I think everything is physical, everything is emotional, everything is mental, everything is financial, everything is social. They all overlap in all categories all the time. Just sometimes over here, like right now, our focus more is on connecting, right? So we're gonna connect and commune and sit and hold space. I love that way of describing what this is. You hold
Yeah.
space for X or Y or Z. That's so interesting. And right now we're holding space for ourselves to just talk to ourselves. That's pretty interesting.
So Desiree, let's start with kind of where you came from, when you started doing what you're doing. Where did you How did you begin doing what you're doing? I guess is what I'm asking.
How did you fall into spirituality?
Yes, that's a good question.
Yeah, I think on some level, gosh, it was to me, my journey has felt like peeling back the layers to my essence. Just like this journey of just like becoming more and more of myself every day. And so, talking about holding space, right? Like that's kind of what I do in my work. And I feel like that's part of my life's mission is to hold space for others and for myself. And it's interesting that so I believe that a lot of our gifts come from pain or from traumas of our past. And so what's interesting is that as a child, I was raised by my single mom. She was she was 19 when she had me. Single mother, didn't really have a relationship with my father. And as a result, I became sort of a parentified child, and had to learn really quickly to regulate the emotional environment of my household for my safety. And it's really interesting how kids will they're so sensitive. we're so wired for survival that we will do our bodies will do what it takes to survive the most crazy circumstances. And so that was one of my coping skills that I developed from a very young age, was like learning how to regulate everyone's emotions, learning how to keep the peace, learning how to hold space for adults for themselves. And so, that's who I became, somebody who could really hold space, somebody who actually had poor boundaries, who's like a recovering codependent. And so, first it became this coping skill, and it was used in all kinds of unhealthy ways. And then as I was able to heal that, I could hone it into a useful skill, a gift, something to offer my community. And I'm always having to kind of do that balance. Like, am I also holding space for myself? Am I also making myself a priority? But yeah, and so I think it was just one thing leads to another in life. It's like, how did I get here? I started teaching yoga in 2013. Before that, I was always into, thinking about the world and God and energy and, manifestations and, just always so curious about the world around me, always a questioner. And so I was kind of doing it before it was even a thing, before I even knew what I was doing. And it really took like a friend. Sometimes you want to do something, right? Like I knew I wanted to get into the world of yoga. I knew I wanted to teach it. I had been practicing it. But sometimes it's like you're waiting around for that one person to just give you permission to do what you wanted to do. And possibilities. My background is also.
One second, Desiree, your Wi-Fi you're frozen. Or maybe like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, when she gets back, we're gonna have to break. Yeah. All right, well I get
We lost her. Darn it. Well, hopefully she'll pop back.
Yeah.
She's
okay, great. All right, we're gonna get Desiree back on here. But yeah, I know Desiree. Man, actually, I know she worked with Dunbar.
she changed location.
Or the camera might like be backwards.
Maybe.
Okay, hello.
Hi, we can hear you.
Oh my gosh. Okay, can y'all hear me, see me? I'm gonna have to just move in. This isn't the best background, but
now I couldn't see before.
Oh my, was I backlit? Oh my gosh. Okay. So my bad. Here we go. I am tuning in from my room then. Okay. All right. So where were we?
All right. So
it's a good question. Where were we? You began teaching yoga
at 14.
Okay, so I was already practicing and meditating from a very young age. And then my friend was like, you should be a yoga teacher. And I was like, yes, I've been thinking of doing that. I want to do that. The person just gave me permission to step into what I already knew I wanted to do. And so from 2013 on, I was teaching yoga. But so I also have a background in working in nonprofits, in leadership and management. So, that's always been something that lights me up to like motivate a team or to work for a cause or to be of service in that way. Young women's advocacy has always been a thing for me too. And so I was kind of juggling both at the same time, but always had that entrepreneurial spirit. And so it wasn't until I got the opportunity to start working for Dunbar, the Dunbar Pavilion in Tucson, Arizona, Tucson's emerging African American Cultural Arts Center. And running their program and working for a predominantly Black organization, and doing this work of liberating my community, my brothers and sisters, focusing on health and wellness and what that looks like in a decolonized space, really started to make big shifts in my life. It changed the way I move in community. It changed the way I move as a person. As a result of this inspiration and this experience, I also stepped out and officially started my business of doing intuitive healing and consulting.
Quick question. What is
Yeah.
a decolonized space? And then we're going to go, what
Ooh,
is
yes. What is a decolonized space? I feel like it's moving away from, I guess, the way that we have been indoctrinated to operate, a very white way of moving about in space. I think it includes, well, one, it includes everyone. A decolonized space includes everyone. It's as accessible as it can be, and it invites things like moving away from capitalism, moving away from a one size fits all way of being and working in community. It's human centered. It is, yeah, it's a human centered. It's a way that invites also gentleness and grace in work. And it's, yeah, it's human centered. It's meeting each person where they're at in the space. So, yeah, and then the health and wellness program that I'm working on too is also like bringing in indigenous ways of healing. So rooting back to what our ancestors did to sustain ourselves. It's BIPOC centered programming. Even in my intuitive healing, it's BIPOC centered. So I think that just working in that space has just really influenced the way that I move in the world. I think it's given me permission to really step into my fullest self and, feel like worthy of doing the work that I want to do, not waiting for permission. And realizing that like not everything is for everyone, but that shouldn't stop me from joining the ring of doing what I'm passionate about. Right? Like making stuff that feels good to make is kind of like my motto and my mantra. And so if it feels good and if it's a full body yes, then it's something that I should do. And using that as like my compass to make choices. So,
That is
yeah.
awesome. And before we get into your starting your business, what does BIPOC stand for?
Yeah, Black, Indigenous, people of color.
Oh, awesome. Great. I like the idea of not one size fits all, kind of tailored to each individual, depending on where their needs are. That's great.
Yeah,
Ooh, all right.
absolutely.
Want to start your business? Where are we now on your journey?
Yeah, where am I at? Gosh, it's so crazy to look at it like a business because I feel like it's just me doing what I love every day. But yeah, I mean, I'm 1 year into getting I just got my LLC, so I felt really official a year ago when I was like, okay, I'm a consultant, I'm a coach, like I'm doing this thing. It has been so much learning. Luckily for me, I've been able to, so I'm a big, when you talked about like financial stability and sustaining yourself, I'm really big on having multiple streams of income. So I don't rely on any one thing to bring the money in and to pay my bills. So I have multiple jobs and I feel more freedom in doing it that way. So I'm a contractor and a consultant at times. And then I'm also working for myself doing one-on-one sessions. I do group work, circles, workshops, retreats. And then I also teach yoga. And then soon I'll be practicing officially as a doula. I haven't really started that yet, although again, where do things end and begin? If I'm working to be a doula right now, I've been a doula already. I'm just like getting this training to make it official and to learn more about birth work. But it's been a learning curve. I think gosh, especially for me, like I'm a student of life. I do a lot of research. Most of what I know is through experience or networking with others or, hearing from my community members, helping community members. Um, and so I didn't go to school for business. I am just straight up learning as I go. And so I've had to be resourceful and adaptive. I've had to not be afraid to ask questions. I've had to not be afraid to fail. And again, I'm also not doing any kind of forcing. You know, I haven't really been super like aggressive about like trying to get clients or set goals of what I need to make per month. I don't want to operate my business in that way. This is just another way for me to be of service to the community. So somebody just asked, how do you juggle everything? Good question. As someone, you know what? Here's what it is. I don't juggle. I don't. So as someone who lives with generalized anxiety, for those of you who know, you know, it is a daily struggle to feel like I'm on top of things. I also feel like I have like ADD tendencies. I am not good at focusing on one thing, finishing and starting things. So I have my own mental health that I bring into my work. And so I don't juggle. I really don't. I think it's just about giving myself grace to do what I can when I can and to be fully present in the thing that I'm doing. I have a couple things that like help me. For example, like time blocking or doing is it, Jermaine, you know, Pomodoro Method? Am I saying it correctly? I always forget what it's called.
Timer for like 30 minutes and you focus for that time. And then when that timer is done, you stop. And then I don't know if you continue on with something else. You said
Correct.
It again. That's all.
Correct. Yeah. So things that help me is like ensuring that I start every day by filling my own cup first. Because everything that I do as a space holder is like giving my energy away. So it's talking, it's holding space, it's leading something, it's teaching something. It requires a lot of empathy. It requires a lot of presence. It's very demanding energy wise. And so starting my day off with a full cup is number one. Number two, time blocking. So yeah, I downloaded an app. I believe it's called Pomodoro Method. Don't at me if I'm wrong. But it's working in quarters. So you do 25 minutes of work and then a 5-minute break. You do that 4 times and then you take like a longer 30-minute break. This timer thing, this app on my phone has helped me so much. And so that helps me kind of keep focused. I also have certain days that are designated to certain work. And then the biggest thing of all is saying no, which I'm still learning. I'm still on this journey of like, you know, for me, I think, and maybe this has to do with like moving into a decolonized way of being and working as well. But like as a Black femme, like I want to say yes to everything because I think like that scarcity mindset sometimes lives within me of like, you know, it's the imposter syndrome, like the me that doesn't feel worthy of the opportunity. You know, I want to say yes to everything because I'm not sure when the opportunity is going to go away. You know, am I just lucky to get this opportunity to be here talking with you all, or is it because of the work that I've done? You know, so it's this constant like, oh my God, I got to say yes to everything. And I have to I'm learning the skill of slowing down and having an abundant mindset and knowing like what's mine is mine and that I don't have to say yes right now to everything. I can say yes later. You know what I mean? So I actually just shared about this on my page, like this. So 2020 was like the year of starting my LLC and starting the business, putting my word out there. And I feel like, you know, I've had to stay committed. I've wanted to give up 100 times, you know, like, oh my gosh, I created this event. No one showed up, or this thing flopped, or was that session with that client really good, or you know, like did I really give my best work, should I really be doing this? And so I think the ticket is to keep going even when you want to quit, and know that like your first year is just going to be a lot of like putting stuff out there. People have to see you doing something 1,000 times, it feels like, in order for it to be a thing. I think Tucson functions as a community that way too. It's like they want to hear about something 3 or 4 times before they attend. And so, you know, 2020 was like the year of like majorly putting myself out there, like repeating over and over again what I do, how I do it, finding different ways to do that. Okay, people have been there, they're commenting, they're like, yes, I've been there, I can identify. But 2021 was like the year of opportunities. It's only April and I've gotten so many invitations to be a part of conversations and roundtable discussions and podcasts, and like all of a sudden these, you know, opportunities started to flow. I said yes to everything and then found myself having to juggle 16 projects, 16 different opportunities in like a 2 month, 3 month time period. And like I literally wrote them all down. Like I made this like web of overwhelmment. And I was like, am I really overwhelmed or am I perceiving it that way? And I wrote down all the things I said yes to, and it was 16 huge things. And I was like, oh my gosh, Desiree, you can't do 16 things, you know? So
I,
I had to,
I
huh?
gotta say, a similar thing. I had an advisor have me sort of sit down and put myself in the middle and all the things I was doing. And when you really see all of the little boxes and names, you're like, oh wow, that's significant. That's a significant amount of my life that I
Yes.
spend every day, every week.
Yeah. And so I had to like humble myself and just go back to people that I had said yes to and ask for grace, ask for extensions, use that as a learning opportunity to use my voice and advocate for myself and say, okay, I got to almost be my own manager, my own,
Yeah.
manager, and be like, okay, Desiree is only available between these times, right? And like set some boundaries. I did all of these hard years of learning how to set personal boundaries in my relationships with family and friends and lovers, right? But then it's like, now life is teaching me, okay, these boundaries also have to extend professionally, so I'm learning that. And here we are, right? And I did. I was getting ready to travel. I was super anxious. It took a panic attack, a hard reset of my body to like say no to things. But I'm on the other side of it. And things feel much more manageable right now because I said no and not now to certain things. And I'm just going to take that with me and just like, again, affirm to myself, like, what's mine is mine, right? What's yours is yours. There's no rush. Like, it'll all happen on divine timing. And also, like, how can I be doing this work when I'm exhausted, when I'm overwhelmed? Like, the quality of my work is going to be affected if I'm not doing it from a full cup? So, another thing that I have changed to in my schedule is no longer doing back to back meetings, because I used to do that where I would do a 10 to 11 and 11 to 12, a 12 to, and it's like, that is crazy making. So giving myself like 30 minutes to an hour to decompress from things is super important.
Mm,
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. I like that one a lot. 'Cause I
Yeah.
do like doing that. It's so much easier, and you feel like, well, actually, when I look at my calendar, it's like, yes, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Because that's one of my baseline for like what my business is. My business is the things that I do in the calendar. My business is my things that I do in the day. And not too long ago, someone, maybe like a quote or something like that, that was about being available immediately as a business owner. So if you have a client who's like, hey, can you do this for me? Knowing that, oh, here's this time and I have the ability to go, no, at this time. Yes, absolutely, I'll be there right now at this time. That's huge as a business owner because our lives are so intertwined with. I think I was just talking to someone today about waking up and just kind of mentally being in the mode of whatever project I left, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you go through life, you're just like doing rather go through the day because life is just one day. Go through the day just with the thing that's on my mind is the thing I need to get done for today, or the fourth thing, or the seventh thing. Then there's all the random things that's happening in life. And then the day is over. And then there's the next day. And it's not until 3 weeks later you realize there were 45 things that you could have done but you didn't do because you had to do these other things. And then you did this and you didn't realize it because you were mentally not thinking about the big picture, but thinking about what has to
Right.
happen next. And you were in that mode for 4 days straight, and you got this done. Heard all these other things that. So
Right.
yeah, it's a lot to kind of move around. And one thing I'm working on now is I have it. I took my business, and so with my advisor talking about putting myself in the center, he goes, "What's happening here is you're in the center, and Jermaine is pushing this energy out to all these different areas. What you have to do is put at the time my company was Violet White Media. Presently, it's Imperion Partners. It was like you put your company in the center, and all the things that you're doing are meant to feed the company because the company is what feeds you. It's what feeds me, my life, etc. So I was like, that makes so much sense. So when I rearrange those things, my priorities now are all aligned with, okay, what's best for the growth of the company? And of course, the company itself wants to know what's best for the customer. So all of those things line up in a row at the same time. So then there's priorities. How do I prioritize? How do I say I'm going to get this thing done? One thing I learned is I really don't know how long anything's going to get done. So one of our software developers go, if I ever tell you a time to get something done, it's what we really think is going to happen times two. And so
Mm.
last month I was thinking maybe I should start doing that with myself. If I think something's going to take an hour, give myself 2 hours. If I think it's going to take a day, give myself, you know what, I'll do it.
Oh.
Even in the meeting that we had yesterday, because I realized I'd say, okay, right after the meeting, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. But usually right after the meeting, I have another meeting. So I can never
Mm-hmm.
really do anything right after the meeting. But then I'm like, my mind is rolled off into this, and I'm doing all these other things. So something doesn't come out until a couple of days later. Yesterday, I almost said that same thing, and I said, over the next few days, I'm going to X, Y, Z. And that's
Yeah.
something you can be like, oh, Jermaine, give yourself a little more space because this is what you've experienced. So, yeah.
I always like the saying, it was like, I always hate the plan. I always hate the plans my extroverted self made that morning.
Yes. Yes.
I had that happen the other day. I made a plan to go meet up with somebody in the afternoon. I made it that morning, and by the time the afternoon came around, I had to reschedule because I was like, "What was I? What was I thinking? No, it's not gonna happen." Yeah, I
Yes.
what you were saying about like scheduling too many things, putting too much on your plate. I can't do that because if I schedule too many things out, then I tend to get way overwhelmed, and then I have to start like shifting time frames and things. And so it's important to put yourself first and what you're mentally able to finish. It's hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, my therapist told me no more saying yes immediately to things. It's
Right.
just you can say, I'll think about that or let me get back to you, but no more immediate yeses because we really need time to like let that decision integrate into our body and like how do you know? How do you know if it's a full body yes?
Mm-hmm.
You have to give yourself that moment, like even a few minutes at least to figure out if it will really work, you know? So, yeah, I'm all about just giving yourself some time and space.
I'm not struggling. So, oh man, I had a great. What did you just say? I'm sorry. I had a thought along those lines.
No, I was talking about how my therapist says like no more saying immediate yeses to things. Give
Oh yeah.
yourself time. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on intuition then? And how do we like use intuition in our decision making versus logic in those
Yeah.
moments in these times as we're trying to prioritize and business versus family versus time, what's a good time, bad time, what dates do what.
Right. Yeah, I remember that question floating around. It's like how do we know if our intuition is guiding us or our trauma is misleading us? And so I feel like
Interesting.
yeah, anxiety is felt in the chest and intuition is felt in the gut, in the belly. So, I was learning, I do various things to decide whether something is good for me. But one fun one that you can try is muscle testing. So you can like try it with like easy things first. Like, you could do it with a partner. So, like, Jermaine, you would say, like, you would hold your arm out and you would say, my name is Jermaine. And then Chelsea, right?
Kelsey, yeah.
Kelsey. Okay, then you would push down on his arm as he says that. So, like, try it. Jermaine, say, my name is Jermaine.
My name is Jermaine. My name is
Okay.
Jermaine.
Okay, see, it's firm, right? But if you were to
Yeah.
be like, my name's Kelsey, then it's going to be weaker when she tries to put her hand down.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay, so then if you're going to try it by yourself on your own, you can like take, I do it with like vitamins or like different foods. I'm like, oh, I really want this bag of whatever. Like, is this what my body needs? And you can like ask your body first, like, what's yes, what's no. For me, yes is going forward. No, my body is going to go back. So you can hold it in your hand and just be like, okay, is this for my highest good? And you'll start to feel a pull forward or backward. And then like that's how you can, use your body. Your body knows, right? We underestimate. We live so much here from the neck up. Jermaine, I feel like you're also very like logical, very like from the neck up, right? And so trusting the body's wisdom, right? Like the body is so miraculous. I'm learning in this doula training, like everything that the body does to have a baby, right? And it's like all hundreds of miracles in a row have to happen for life to occur, right? For a baby to even be born. And so, and then like think about even just germs and cellular memory and how our body can heal and transform. We know this, right? That the brain can make new neural pathways. We know that the cells can renew themselves. So it's like our body has taken us through every experience to now. It's so important. A lot of what I do is rooting back to the breath, the body, the body's wisdom, observing what's going on, communicating with your body in whatever way, dancing, movement, working out, breath work, whatever, but taking a moment every day to connect. You know, sometimes you can just take your hand and just be like, there you are, come back, right? My friend Narza says, come back.
Unclench your jaw, like drop your shoulders, kind of let your whole body relax, because we tend to hold on to so much of that
so much
stress throughout the day that you need some time to decompress.
Yeah.
Right. So my last question before we wrap up is, how long do you think it's possible for a healthy human being to live with what you're saying, with the right habits from birth as a kid, like not even from birth, from in the belly? You know, you have your mom receiving all the right nutrients in the right mental environment, in the right vibrational environment from there on. How long do you think us humans can live individually?
You know what? This brings me to a funny story because, you know, Prince Philip just died, right? And I asked my family member over here, and I'm like, man, how do they live so long? You know, royalty. They all live till they're like 90, 100. You know, how do they live so long? And my family friend goes, oh yeah, well, you know, they don't have to lift a finger. And then I started reimagining, like, oh my God, specifically for BIPOC people, like we know that we're more prone to all of these diseases related to stress of racial microaggressions or marginalized people living with microaggressions, living in this world, and especially in the United States, where we're facing so much stress of survival, right? So if we didn't have that, how long would we live? Oh my gosh, right? We would probably all live till we're like over 100. Um, but I think the key to longevity for me is like controlling what I can control, right? And connecting with my body, this vessel, as you say, Jermaine, like as much as possible, as much as I can, giving myself grace and gentleness. What would happen if I lived my life not by what I'm producing or what I'm doing, but just how well I'm being, how well I'm living, how well I'm loving, how well I'm in my pleasure practice. So if we're reconnecting to that, right, then the opportunities are endless. I think, you know, we're also like, you know, what is it, like we're a human being in a spiritual experience, right? So there's also like this thing that we're here for as long as we need to be, like, and just trusting that. It's so hard for me to answer that question. I want to say, I want to give you a number, but I'm like, we're all here. We're this each of us, this unique manifestation of God energy, right? Here for as long as we possibly can be, and as long as we are supposed to be. So that's part of trusting in life. I hope we can all live longer. And I want to say that we do lengthen the time of our life by being closely connected to our breath and our body, you know, and connected to others and focusing on the right things, right? Like not the money and the power, but humanity and connection and community. And that's got to be worth something. That's got to add some years, hopefully, to our lives. So,
Awesome.
did I answer your question?
Absolutely, yes. That was great. That was great. Because that
Okay.
just as a baseline thing, when we talk, you know, we create bubbles that we force other people to be in.
Yeah.
And we don't realize when we do it. And so you're like, hold on a second, I like the question, but let me show you how. So I love that. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
awesome.
No, I think we just really would like to know if people want to look you up, where can they find you? Social media, website?
Oh, actually, I
Oh.
have one. Yes, your book club. You mentioned book club. Tell us about
Oh,
your book
yes.
club.
Yeah, so I'm leading one book club with the Tucson Shambhala Meditation Center. So I'm a board member there, and we're leading our first racial justice book club. And we might actually be doing this again. Right now, we're reading My Grandmother's Hands by Resmaa Menakem, and great book. And then the second book club is through the Dunbar, and I'm co-leading that with Fiona. I don't know if any of y'all know Dusty Moon Studio on Instagram.
Yes,
But
yes.
yeah, so Fiona is my co-lead. We're reading Activism by Adrienne Marie Brown. And we want to continue BIPOC Book Club. And that's what it is. Right now, Pleasure Activism is just for BIPOC. And we want to continue that, creating a safe space just to celebrate literature and like dive into topics. And this has been such a great book to connect over. So I think we'll be doing it again. So stay tuned. If you don't already like the Dunbar Tucson on Instagram, give us a like. Stay tuned for all of our health and wellness workshops. They're open to the public. Some of them are BIPOC only, like BIPOC centered. Others are open to the public and they're all free. Definitely check them out. I also work for El Rio Health Center. They have a health builders program, unlimited yoga classes and workshops and fitness classes that are all free and open to the public online. So check them out. And then, of course, Tucson Shambhala Center, I lead a morning BIPOC meditation, free and open to join, 8 a.m. Monday through Thursday for BIPOC. My Instagram is Desiree Gonzales _. And you can also find me on my website at desireegonzales.me. You can reach me by email at info.soulbloom@gmail.com. And then quick plug, I'm leading a yoga retreat next April 2022. So that's being launched soon. Definitely sign up. Love for you to be out here in this magical place, Jamaica. So hopefully I can see some of y'all, some of you
My
listeners
genetics are
there.
from.
Say it again.
Where my genetics are from.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, come connect with your ancestors in this water and this land. It's so beautiful here.
Can you again repeat what your Instagram handle is?
Yes, Desiree Gonzales _ DESIREEGONZALES _.
Do you have any final words for the people of Southern Arizona?
Be gentle with yourself forever and ever always. That's the whole point. Glad I got that out. Yep, that's what it is. Right now, that is literally what I'm rooting to. What I'm rooting back to is rest and pleasure and gentleness and grace. Those are like my 4 words that I'm over and over again looking at what that would feel like in my body, what that would look like in my life. And if I'm maintaining those things and I'm in my pleasure and rest practice, then I can be of service to the world.
Awesome. Love it. Desiree, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
For joining us. Kelsey, any last words for the people?
No, I don't have any except try and get out there and explore some new places in Tucson.
Yes, always go out there, meet new people, explore new places, expand your mind beyond where you are presently, in general, wherever you are in your life. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Yep, next Monday.
Next Monday. Bye.
Bye.
Oh,